Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. And I just finally finished watching Scream 4. Sorry if my mouth looks a little dirty. Just kind of finished eating some dinner, which was some Chinese food. I love Chinese food. But anyways, that's nor here nor there. But anyways, topic Scream 4, which is a new set of trilogy. Usually that's how it goes. Once, yeah. Damn, Sydney really can't get a break, can she? All four was surrounded by, first three surrounds Sydney and about her mom's passing and mother's secrets, which is fine. The fourth one is all about rebooting. Going back to a beloved franchise that we haven't seen in quite some time. Going back to basics with the formula, but also keeping it fresh, keeping the formula fresh to the point of how are we going to do it? How are we going to keep a formula that works? You gotta try something new. And we have seen this play out numerous times. For example, Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, 2010, 2011. While also, My Bloody Valentines, we have seen something similar to My Bloody Valentines. Halloween did a similar thing not that long ago, returning to the formula, returning to basics, and that is what Part 4 is all about. Although I'm not a big fan of Part 4, I do respect the twist that it had. Where Sydney's cousin is the main killer, which, although isn't a bad idea, it isn't a bad idea. Oh man, I am really beat. Where was I? Okay, yeah. It's not a bad idea to have a family member be the killer. But I think that's where it fell. You know, like part 3 worked where like the twist that the killer would be the long lost brother of said hero worked because it fit the overwhelming it fit the overwhelming welling sorry, it fit the over type. It like fit the story, you know. Yeah, it fit the overwhelming story, you know. But with this one, with part 4, and having it be another member of Sydney, his family member, it just kind of felt you know. 3, now say what you will about part 3. Part 3, I feel like handled the twist a lot better. The overwhelming story that it was trying to tell with the overwhelming plot of how and who really did kill Sydney's mother. And this one was just doing the same thing, returning to formula, which did work, but it didn't feel right, you know, if that makes sense. Although I do respect and like how the twist was a cousin instead of a sibling. I did kind of like the twist on that one. But when you return to formula, when you return to reboot a franchise, you are going to deal with so much backlash from fans and beloved cult classical nerds, whatever you're trying to do and whatever you're trying to reboot or remake, it never really pans out very well. And we have seen this time and time again. When you start a new trilogy, you have to step the game up just a bit, you know, which works, but not really. But other than that, it's still a pretty good franchise with a couple downs, but yet at the same time, it is a franchise like anything else. And Neve Cameron, Courtney Cox, I mean, they are literally the Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox and the guy who plays Dewey, forever tied to Scream movies, but it's not bad. It's not as bad as we'd like to make it out to be. You know, Part 4. Say what you will about Part 4. But with as I'm like refreshing my Scream stuff, it's not as bad as we want it to make it out to be. Like, Part 4 kind of works, but it does fail in some areas. Which, don't get me wrong, I know, I might be a little judgy here, but I've seen Scream 4 quite a few times, and each time I like it more and more. And I like it a lot more than, sadly, I like it a lot more than the original, which I know, I'm probably gonna have someone who hates my guts and be like, how dare you love Part 4 better than the original. Don't get me wrong, the original trilogy is good, don't get me wrong, but it also has its failures like anything else. And this is no different. It is a new trilogy rules. They play by the same formula. It doesn't matter if it's a second trilogy, a third trilogy. Heck, freaking Mission Impossible is on its third trilogy right now. Like, quite literally. They're coming. They're on their third trilogy? Fast and Furious had just finished their third trilogy. Now they're doing another trilogy, or I think, yeah, something like that. If you think about it, Hobbs and Shaw is a part of the new, is kind of a it's kind of a prequel to Fast 9, which kind of works but doesn't. I mean, that's just, those are just examples. Freaking what? Top Gun is just coming out. It is just about, Top Gun 3 is about to come out with their next, they're gonna end the first trilogy after how many years? 30, 40? Give or take 50 years. I mean, Thor is starting a whole new trilogy. We just finished another trilogy. We might get another Spider-Man trilogy that might have Tom Holland, might have Tobey Maguire, for example, which that's for another video. Heck, Andrew Garfield might have finally finish his trilogy. I mean, we're living in some crazy freaking times. Everything wants to be a sequel or a trilogy. You can't have both. You know? I mean, honestly, I would more rather have Andrew Garfield have a third film than see another movie with Tom Holland. Don't get me wrong, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but we need to give him a break. We just need to give Tom Holland a Spider-Man break. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm pretty sure he's feeling burnt out. Which is okay. You know. Let's just honestly give Andrew Garfield his third Spider-Man movie. That's all I'm saying. But that is nor here nor there. All I'm saying is, when you return to formula, you are going to have some criticism. And with criticism comes backlash. And when backlash comes, it may or may not hurt the process of how much money the movie is going to make. And honestly, the new trilogy, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a second trilogy, kind of works. You know, it's still good. The new one is still good in its own way, but it also has its own sets of failure and things that work and things that doesn't work. It happens, you know. But it's not bad. Part 4 is not that bad. I'm just saying. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as I originally thought, you know. Which is fine. You know, it's one of those Scream 4 is one of those movies that when you watch it more and more, time after time, it kind of grows on you. It's one of those movies, you know, where you watch the first trilogy and then you watch the fourth one, right? And you're like, oh, this is horrible. This sucks, you know, for the first time of watching it, you know. But then when time goes by and then you start to watch it again, you're like, you know, this is different. You know, and then some more time goes by. You watch it again, you know. You watch each trilogy, you watch all three in one foul swoop, and then you Then you watch it again and you start to see what certain things work and what certain things don't work with the franchise, with the fourth film. And then some more time. You wait a little bit, watch it again, do the same thing over and over again, watch it, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is starting to grow on me, Same thing, do it over and over again until you realize it's not as bad as you originally thought. Now, does it have its problems? Oh, hell yeah, it does. But the problem that it has relies heavily on returning to formula. Slasher formula. That's about it. But what does work is it's not anyone from the original, It's the cousin from the original, And honestly, it kind of works, Kind of works, but it kind of fails because there's not enough time. It's all about, okay, these are the new characters, right? And here are the old characters, And it's a little give and take, It's this is what we have established, and this is what we are going to establish, It's kind of give or take. But other than that, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I would say more decent than part 3. Well, no. Part 3 is a lot more decent. Let me just clarify and rephrase that. Part 3 is a lot more decent than part 4. It's still decent, but not decent enough to be on the same level of or as part 3. And honestly, it's still a part of the overwhelming story that is Scream. And that's the beauty of it, honestly. But tomorrow, I am going to review Scream the series, and by the end of season 1, I'm going to either tell you where it fits in with the franchise, because honestly, I feel like it is a part of the world that is Scream, because let's face it, there's 3 seasons. I think we're good on that. I mean, yeah, I think collectively, if you do it in chronological order, watch part 1, watch part 2, part 3, Scream 3, Scream 4, then watch the series, you will start to see where it fits in with the whole Scream franchise, which is still good. Okay? But it's Scream. what more do you want? It's literally a meta commentary on movies in general. Whether it's the first one, whether it's the original, or a sequel, or a trilogy. The first trilogy that wraps everything up, from the last two films. 4 is literally a continuation, kind of. Any fourth film is going to kind of be like that, because it's going to have to deal with rebooting, returning to the franchise. It's literally returning to the original, but with new characters and some old characters. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way, because when you turn to a franchise that ended in 3 after some years, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have fans, you're gonna have haters, and you're gonna have people who are in the middle who understand you can't enjoy the original trilogy, and you gotta be realistic with the new trilogy and whatever comes after, And honestly, that's what Part 4 is, It's starting a new trilogy, but also returning to the same franchise. It happens with Part 4. It's literally a new it's a new set of it's a new time, but yet it's the same world, collectively. But other than that, it's still a good film. It's still a good film. Is it 100% good? No. I would say it's about 40 to 30% good. I think that might be a little low, but it could also be a little high. Could be, maybe, I don't know. But it's still a pretty nice movie. It's a nice movie if you like slashers. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys so far. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.